Good day everyone, back with some more Dragon's Dogma's Arc Arisen. Normally I would wait a little longer in between playthroughs, but I wasn't at all happy about how the last one ended. So I decided let's jump right back in and do our next one. We'll polish off the third and final hybrid location as well, in this case, Assassin. So, Assassin, as you can probably tell by the way she's currently equipped, can, like other yellow classes, wield some sort of bow, in this case a short bow, and daggers, just like a strider. Now, there are actually more to them than just that. As you can see in my inventory, I have a sword and a shield. Curious. Well, that's because in lieu of a bow, you can strap a shield on instead. You can go shield and daggers, or you can whip out a sword. In lieu of your daggers. So now you're a more squishy fighter. With sword and shield. Or you can whip out bow and sword, which is probably what we'll be running around with most of the time. Just because this is one, besides shield and daggers, is the other unique weapon combo that only Assassin has access to. Skill wise, you have access to the basic short bow skills that a strider does, but you don't have access to fracture dart, a downpour volley, which are kind of the most important ones, unfortunately. So you've got fivefold, mighty bend. Now the key to mighty bend, and to be quite frank, I rarely even use the skill, so my timing on it is probably going to be terrible. But if you'll notice, as you charge up, the character will flash once you reach full bar. If you release during that flash, it's like a crit shot. So there's a bit of skill involved to it. And then Lindsay inside is your sniper skill. Ranger also has access to one. You can even zoom in and out by clicking the right stick. So that's all fun. As for daggers, quite similar to the dagger skills Ranger has. Some additions. Well, they both share Dazzle Blast, which is actually really handy with rusted daggers to inflict debilitation, roll rusted, annealed, or golden daggers to inflict status debilitations on enemies. But a couple of unique skills that the Assassin has available would be Snake Bite. This poisons the enemy, but the most important thing it does is, whether it's small or even medium or even towards the larger end of medium enemies, is it knocks them down. So even if you've not got particularly stout daggers, you can still get some crowd control available because it doesn't depend on the strength of your daggers. And Master for Kill is simply a counter strike pose. If an enemy attacks you, you will be locked into iframes for the entire animation of you counterattacking them, basically climbing on, slicing their throat, and backflipping away. And the sword version of Assassin actually has a very similar ability called Clairvoyance, but unlike Masterful Kill, where you hit the button, and now it's not doing it here just because this is sort of a rest area, kind of, but if there are enemies around, you will stay in the pose until you move, so you can activate it and go get yourself a cup of tea or something, and you'll be safe until someone triggers it. Then you're not going to be in it afterwards, of course. So that's a neat little move. Shield skills. There are quite a few newer ones, but I never really deal with shield skills, to be quite honest. One that's useful is moving castle, though, because it's sort of a little dash. I suppose I could get that equipped. We'll go in with the sword out as well. I was going to actually use that beyond showing you here, but I haven't even purchased it. There I go again. Shield. And moving castle. Alright. Yeah, so you have your little dash and you can control the direction with the left stick. So that's handy little ability. Sword skills, got the basic ones, of course. Full Moon Slash, as opposed to Dragon's Maw, just like Mystic Knight. Whereas Fighter has access to both. You can pick between them. But some handy little abilities that are unique, one of which is Powder Blast, which you set a little trap, and then you run away, and if you look very closely to the ground, you can see that you're leaving a trail of gunpowder. Now this is very handy if, say, you're playing solo and you need to unlock a Man-Eater chest. So what you can do is you just set the blast right by the chest, and then you just do your little whirl around, make you a nice long trail, and then you would activate it and then quickly open the chest. Man-Eater grabs you, then it gets blown up. So you free yourself, no pawn assistance necessary, or stick wiggling. And Dire Gouge. Now, if I'm hitting the button right now, but she's not doing anything, she ain't budging. What this is essentially 100 kisses, but it only but unlike 100 kisses, which is a dagger skill, of course, it doesn't have an on-ground function. This is basically 100 kisses for swords, but it only works when you're clinging to a fire. And it essentially matches the damage, with the exception of, since swords are the equivalent sword to the equivalent tier dagger, the sword's going to have higher strength. It's going to have better stats. So, if anything, it technically out damages just because of that. Of course, Strider is still king when it comes to climbing and doing damage because of their innate strength bonus when clinging to a foe. that being said, it is a very handy ability, and it's not something Fighter or Mystic Knight have available to them. So yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. We're trying something a wee bit different this time, where, unlike before where I just equip, well, this is an exception of course, just because it's a rusted weapon, even gold forged, it's not all that spectacular damage wise, but the thing with playing on hard mode and going straight to bitter black is you as the Arisen are not really going to be doing anything to the enemies. You're not going to be able to affect them for a while. So the least I can do is some crowd control, while the pawns can actually damage them. Of course, the pawns I've also got set up with some beginner weapons. We'll see how this goes. Try something a bit different than how we have been going. As for how we are going to scale up our weapons as we play along, my current plan is to try to just go with what we find, but we'll see how that works. Party is, of course, pawns is the classic, one of each color, and then these are random, well, these are offline pawns, since it's such a struggle to find properly set up pawns in the Rift, but unfortunately. This way I can just use the little mod thing to set them up how I like. Of course, where this hurts is I can't really do anything about the bestiary knowledge, which, as you can tell, leaves a lot to be desired. So that's going to hurt them, but they will actually learn as we go along. Of course, it'll be a real pain if, say, death pops up and whacks one of them, or one of them falls into the abyss or the water, because then I have to go through all the trouble of finding another one and resetting them up. But that's just what we have to live with, I suppose. Alright, let's get this started, I suppose. Oh, I suppose I could actually go over the skills and such. So the sorcerer here, set up classic quick cast sorcerer with base Borwide, Giselle, and Maelstrom, high fulmination, high miasma, and then high void spell, just for the purposes of cleansing petrification, because bugger. Petrification's a pain. Basic augments with the golden trio when it comes to a magic base character, attunement, acuity, and articulously. Stability to prevent, to hopefully prevent getting knocked over and interrupted with their spell casts. Bastion just for some extra physical defense. What this does is it's 50 points added to your physical defense. Then Snoo just for carry weight, but that was kind of superfluous because, frankly, sorcerers and mages, their equipment is so lightweight that they can actually carry quite a bit without having to worry about that. And then Plastic Bear Strike, Antler Toss, Dragon's Maw, no shield skills because you want your fighter focused entirely on perfect blocking. And then basic fighter, physical, or ground-based physical augments. So sinew for the carry weight, vehemence and clout, aggression to assist in escapes. Although pawns don't really have as big of an issue as, say, the Arisen does. They can wiggle their imaginary sticks a lot faster than you can, after all. Ferocity is actually really handy for fighter and warrior that will, besides fighter spamming dragons more, it's mostly just your basic attacks that you use, and this gives them all I think it's a 10% boost in damage. And then this just helps the stamina drain from dragons more, quite a bit. Interestingly enough, Ferocity can actually play pretty well on sorcerers that spam Holy Focus Bolts, because it increases the damage from those 10% as well. And they already just absolutely destroy things. So yeah, that's how we're looking. Or I suppose I could go with Katarina as well here. So very standard Strider setup with Kisses, Shearing Wind, Brain Splitter, Fivefold, Hailstorm Volley, and Fractured Eye. And she's actually set up more Climber style with Adhesion and Opportunism, as well as the typical strength boosts of Cloud and Vehemence. Eminence is really handy to combo into with Brain Splitter. It procs as long as you jump, or combo it with Leaping Stone, which is actually something I could equip on her instead of the Shearing Wind. Honestly, even so, the thing about 100 kisses versus 1,000 kisses, 1,000 kisses doesn't actually increase the damage. A lot of these tier 3 skills from the rings are sort of traps, because they don't, because a lot of them end up, well, some of them are just objectively worse than the tier 2 version, so they're actually a downgrade damage wise, just because of the weird way they decided to go about calculating these things. But well, and then 1,000 Kisses, for example, is pretty worthless to an extent, because because it doesn't have any increase in DPS. It does the exact same damage as 100 Kisses, so it's not a downgrade. What does change, though, is the amount of, basically the length of your animation when you're on the ground or climbing. But since you're spamming the button anyway, it's going to go on indefinitely until you're out of stamina regardless. So really, that this Daggerous Band is sort of useless. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a nice master ring, stamina and strength. Yeah, we want it over the Daggerous Band. Right. Yeah, because that keeps Skull Splitter and Downpour Volley. That's what we like. Now, there is the caveat of the pawn will often, it's not consistent, but generally they will be more apt to spam a skill if it's a tier 3 as opposed to a tier 2. So for her climbing example, but augments play a part in that as well as inclinations. There's a lot that goes into it. But when you yourself are a strider, I definitely recommend the setup that we have on her. Okay, so now let's go ahead and get rid of cutting wind for the leaping stone. And there we go. A lot of this I'll try to go over more in depth when it comes to striders when I actually play as a strider. Might actually we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So these wolves are going to absolutely destroy me if I'm not careful. Okay, I can't damage them. That's oh, one thing you have to get used to, which I'm clearly not, is you don't have dodge rolls when you're using the sword. You don't have double jump, you don't have dodge rolls. Tree, I don't see that. Okay. And I see we've forgotten to grab the flower. Oops. Doesn't sound like me at all. Forgetting something important. Do you believe we have a notice board quest to take out some spiders, little buggers? Oh, you already fell down, did you? Iron chests up here. Not ones that had anything interesting. Oh yeah, I can't remember if I pointed this out back when I played very first playthrough when I was Magic Archer, but so you'll well I accidentally did that. Okay, here's your basic combo, your light attack combo, just a bunch of dagger slashes. Now, if you delay the first hit, you do the round delay combo. So this is important because your regular combo does slashing damage, but round delay does blunt damage, which means it's better against skeletons and the like. So that's something to keep in mind. That's a vent. Alright, I should probably switch back to the sword. Looks like there's a lad with a shield here. So much for your blocking there. Too bad being anything nice than this. No. Well, I mean, I'm saying they're lovely leggings, but it's not what we wanted. Looking for some daggers and a better short bow. Alright, this chest. Speaking of chests, I do believe I forgot to look over here, didn't I? Chainmail braces. Not really worried about armour. They're absolutely lousy with that. Okay, death is going to pop up. So we'll trigger that and go right back in the tunnel. I think I'll go back and grab the flower. Actually, since we have to run back to the door to get him to disappear anyway. Well, we don't have to, but it's that away, like 5 minutes. Yeah. There he goes. Now, assassin. Oh, oops. Should probably have grabbed these. That's a lot of free experience. Drawer. Okay, and purify something, I suppose. Nice noise. Ah, here we go. The gold sculptures. No, you don't want to do that again. This way. Okay. Monsters. I might come around. I want to get rid of the shield because, frankly, I'm not going to use it. I will keep the daggers though. Oh, she used some of those. Clever girl. Amusingly enough, the only enchanted short bow, Dragon's Eye, which you can actually get from Moonbeam chests to the door, is fire enchanted. So if you use it with oil arrows, it's a pretty nice combo because it oils the enemy and sets them on fire immediately. So they take bonus fire damage from that. Unfortunately, in Bitter Black, so many things are resistant or even outright immune to fire that it's actually quite painful. Oh yeah, I always forget there's a chest there. It's a bit hidden, to be fair. Suppose we'll grab a weak stone shard. Why are you all damaged for? You have the best armor out of all of us, I believe. Shoot. Rift fragments. Switch to our mobility setup. And there we go, some snag daggers. Unfortunately, if she happens to be in combat, okay, she's not. So I'll take these. There we go. We've already slightly improved our weapons. Slightly. I do believe you can also find throat cutters in this room and some of these chests. See, she's already landed the bloody things. Brigandine jerkin. That's actually one of my favourite pieces of clothing, honestly. Bugger. Arrows remain. That's what I get for trying to scratch me nose. Platforming. Whoa. Did say that tree doesn't care for me. Okay, let's try this again. Well, I said we would. Oi, oi, lad. You put someone's eye out with that thing. Yeah, come on back. Yeah. Just a bit of fire. Never hurt anyone. Okay, he should be falling shortly. She's got like a bloody rusted arch stuff, and she was melting it pretty well there. That's good news. Plus, you've noticed, I don't leave myself in the main point of leveling up. I'll have to manually level those about every 10 levels or so. So we're getting pretty close to having to do that. Bone armor. That's actually pretty stout. It looks hideous though, but, well, it's not to my aesthetics. We'll put it that way. I don't know. Protons. This is more King's Varge, isn't it? No? This is. Yeah. You can't really tell the difference from just looking at them like this. But alright. Hey. Never mind. She got it. Might ought to go ahead and level them on up to like 20. So if you do rent a support pawn that's higher level than you currently are, you will get a, depending on how Brigandine Jerkin again, depending on how steep the difference is in level, you will get either small up to a fairly substantial penalty to experience gain, and vice versa. If you out level the pawns, or even not running with them at all, you will get a bonus up to a certain extent. And I'm pretty sure it's up to 25 levels above or below, so either direction is the cap when it comes to that difference in how much bonus it gives you. We'll keep the throw blast around for now. It's another level. Actually, that might be a couple of levels. I'm not sure. No. This next one would do it though. If I could find something that I haven't upgraded past. Wait a minute. Sure, for some reason I have things that are Dragon Forged that I might be able to rarefy. In fact, I think that's the very reason I left it on Dragon Forge. Wait, what's this need? How do... Oh, I just neglected picking those up, I guess. Silly me. Oh, nice. I see you, love. Alright, hunks of platinum. You can get platinum. I'm pretty sure you can get platinum from in here. No, 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 you can't get it from here. You can get them from mine eaters, and then the middle third of the dungeon is when you can get it from mining nodes. But I'm pretty sure you can't get it here. Not platinum. And it just gave us this bloody knuckle. Don't have any interest in that. However, as you can see, we reached level 20, so I need to slap some levels on these lasses. So I'll just do that right quick. Attributes, right. Just wait. Why isn't that? Oh. Huh. Okay, I guess it was. It just wasn't updating for me. How bizarre. What is respec? Okay, she's the sorcerer, so we'll just go. This is actually bad, but at least this start out with will let her progress this way so she can actually do some damage a little earlier than normal. So the full magic build, like the max magic you can get, is to go mage, well, to start as a mage and then go sorcerer all the way from level 10 to level 200. The issue with this is you have no physical defense and no stamina and no health. So all you have is magic attack. And 550 is all the magic you need if you're using Sanguine Stalk and it's Gold Forge, and you have Acuity and Attunement. That's all you need to hit 3000 magic, which breaks even the absolute pinnacle highest magic defense threshold for the most magical resistant enemy in the game in hard mode. Basically, never go full magic build unless you're doing some sort of intentionally gamed challenge run, because it really isn't worth it. Full physical's not. The full physical is better in that you have plenty of stamina. You have Although you do have less equivalent physical defense than you do magical defense with the full magic build. And you have like no magic defense as well. And your health is still quite low. So yeah, the full builds aren't particularly spectacular. Okay, respec, and this one's fighter, so fighter 1 to 10. And then we'll just do 10 levels of warrior. Let's see if this actually worked appropriately. Okay, good, it got them to 20. Right, sometimes it doesn't work that way and you have to finick with it a little bit. That's why I don't particularly care for doing that kind of thing on screen, on stream rather, in case it gets tears me. But that time it worked okay. Nice Q. Lost arrows. Perfume. Try not to get into the habit, because I'm bad to just constantly pick things up and then end up weighed down a bit. So I definitely don't want to do that. Especially with really... Well, right now we're low level, so curatives are sort of fine. Even the lesser ones. But reinforced longbow, if we had a ranger, it'd be alright, I suppose. The interesting thing is that's pretty much the base longbow besides the rusty longbow. It's the earliest one you can get when you can... If you were playing through the game normally to where you can only become a ranger once you get to Grand Sora, so you're not doing Bitter Black at all. The reinforced longbow is the longbow that you could buy at the time. Now, interestingly enough, the name reinforced longbow, but this is pretty much the weakest it's the weakest non-rusted longbow. And then later on, there's one called the plain longbow, which is stronger. And I'm fairly convinced that they accidentally got the names mixed up. Then this one should be the plain longbow, and the other one should be the reinforced longbow. You know, the one that has higher stats. It just stands to reason. Secret Softener, that's actually important in case of... There's a wake stone. Complete, if I can... Okay, who grabbed it? Yes, it's here. Yes, I did have that notice board quest. Notice how, if you're moving, notice how off-center the arrows can get. There's actually an augment that fixes that, but Generally the enemies are large enough that it doesn't particularly matter. Most of the time. These little critters, of course. It can't matter. Slash all of them. No. There's one more crawly lad up here. Should probably make a habit of using my elite lantern, come to think of it. Because I do believe the game shows up a little darker in recordings than it does to me for some strange reason. There's another wakestone shard. Don't want to get way down with those. So we'll. Okay, let's fight some undead. And attempt to grab a key. Now if we're lucky we'll be able to grab a short bow. A better short bow for Katarina here. Looks like she's healed up. They're quite vulnerable to torpors, as you can see. And despite those being large undead, you can't climb on them. I thought she went into the water there. I was about to be the big sad. Okay, let's get these skellies. You following me for that? Now, I typically forget to try this, but supposedly, and I'm tempted to do it here if the pawns will behave, but allegedly, and I can't believe I haven't mentioned this before, it just slips me mind I guess, but supposedly Because that chest right there is always a man-eater. It's scripted 100% of the time. That's all that is ever in that chest. Now, allegedly, if you don't ever open it, then until you defeat Daimon the first time, we don't pick that up. There will be no more man-eaters appearing until again you refresh the dungeon. Okay. Watch them go. Now notice how the tornado isn't really doing anything to it besides holding it still. This is because undead are immune to dark magic. And Maelstrom is a dark elemental spell. With Staren. Alright. I'm going to be on comms. Everyone's out. Alright, don't pull typical me and forget to unlock the shortcut up here. That would be embarrassing. I suppose I could use daggers for just a bit. A Dazzle Blast I can use Ranger, but let's see, there's going to be some margin undead down here, so I can show a snake bite there maybe. Just maybe. Alright, lads, come on. So that's counter attack, and here's snake bite, and you can just keep doing that, and just stun lock them. Not really doing any damage to him per se, but didn't really land to anything either. Oh, good burn. That's knockdown resist, isn't it? Never use it, so stun resist. Okay, here's the rough one. going through here. Try not to die to the gargoyle. Let's go ahead and save. Cockage is secure. I should probably grab it. They're really wanting us, oh no, not to die, to please don't wake up. Cyclops. I do have to be careful because gargoyles are fairly stout and okay, good. Yeah, that's why. Just about one-shot me with that light blow, which means I need to get over here, take that ladder. Okay, where? Put this right here. No particular reason. There she goes. Never been damaged. Okay, what's your form? Katarina, please. She's just been. Okay, kids. That's enough. We're on free as long as we're not really silly. Because none of us can really damage him. I don't know if you've realised with the current equipment we have on. Wait, there's still one casting spells. Where would I possibly have missed? Ah, you. There's something a bit buggy about this guy where it can be difficult to hit him sometimes. Sometimes hits won't register. But it's typically fine because he'll just walk off and kill himself. He'll just go off the ledge. There's a nice ornate chest over there, but it's pretty sketchy too. Please stop. Oh no. Okay, we need to get out of here before she the right pieces it off. I appreciate the gumption, but we weren't doing this particular type of run. See, now you've stopped. Look at him. She's like, I want a piece of that thing's rear. Just vicious. How did you get here? I'm going to be wondering about that for a while now. That's going to bug me. Wait, what did you do? What did you gobble up? Strangely, it didn't pop up on the screen. No rails out here that I can see. That's a good thing because I'm not certain we could really damage it. High formation maybe, but her staff is quite bugger all. I really don't want to. God's Bane. But it would be nice to get her better bow. Alright, we'll have more chances at them. No, maybe. Here's a question. Do we go up there and take a run in with one of the arena rooms, or just move on? How are we looking? Bit worse for wear. I was hitting the button and it wasn't reacting there for a moment, and I was starting to be concerned that I somehow did not pick up the key. Can't be right. Don't think there are any treasure chests hidden around here. Very nice peeking through the cracks in the roof though. Pretty nice. Neat touch. Right, we're so low level, these pose a significant threat to us. We have to be quite careful. Easy now. Okay. I don't know if we can fight these greater golems or not. I know I can't do anything to them really, besides talk with them. Bit like, oh, any. Never mind, we can't damage them. I think that was entirely because for some reason when they do that, they can't really notice you for some strange reason. So I got basically preemption bonus the entire time. But it is counting as being in combat. Nah, it isn't. I want that. Oh, there he goes. What do you cast? Generally unsure. Don't mind me. Okay. Let's see what this does. Very weak size and spell. Okay. Yeah, why don't you just stand right there, lad? Uh-oh. That's not what we wanted to happen. Okay. We were able to do it somehow. It's taunting me for not having a ranger, I swear. That's actually a really stout longbow. Well, comparatively speaking. To what we have equipped at least. Speaking of, I've not found any swords. It's barely a town, isn't it? It's up to there. Okay. 26. Okay, there's an ogre and a siren right there. Let's see. Right. Nostalgia dust. That gives possession, right? Banker's barrier. As you might expect. Need to go to the middle area here. Okay. As you might expect, what that does is it increases your chance of getting giant gold coin bags to drop. No, there's nothing here. For like a minute and a half or so, something like that. Hard mode kind of already does that. They will stack though with hard mode, increase it even more. But it's not really something we're in dire need of. Okay, those are all here. Okay. Here's Torpo. She is sketchy. That was significantly easier than I expected. But did she? Surely not. Oh, there she is. Okay, she's all slow now. I'm telling you, Torpa can be handy if you actually have the damage to follow up on it. Which we kinda do. Well, we have a little bit of damage, but we're also not fighting necrophages yet. That'll be a big test if they can actually damage it. Cockatrice. We need to take that down before I go exploring the little upper ring up here for treasure. Find so. I already had one. I don't know why I was disappointed that that wasn't one. So oh, oops. I need to. I may have just bit the dust here. Okay. So, yeah, I didn't finish that. I'll go pick it up. Alright. Alright, there we go. That's not the position you want to be on, so. Oh yeah, there's one thing, if you get enough people on it, you can weigh it down. But so slow compared to a strider when it comes to climbing. Now if I can not die, we'll be in good shape here. Vegetarian. Oh no. It's got me now. Something about this particular sport where he behaves a bit funky. Oi. It's rude. Okay, what's she trying to do? Actually surprised they're having so much. Well, it's because the two support pawns have no knowledge on the cartridges whatsoever. As you can tell by how many times they've said I've learned a beast. That's not what I wanted to do. I was going to walk a little bit of curiosities. Okay, we almost got it. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a bit difficult to. Huh? That's weird. Last I saw her, I still had some outfit. That was much more of a thing than it had to be. I'm actually disappointed in these two. She was trying, she was climbing all over the bloody thing. Fortunately, she kept latching on here at the legs, so it takes a bit to get over to the edge, especially when he's thrashing around like he is. Okay, let's treasure hunt. I need to go and switch to a dagger because we know I'll need the extra mobility. Oh, g'day lad. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Wrong button. It's odd that I suppose it wouldn't use. Yeah, we gotta get in a good old run and start. Easy as. That's some more levels for all the pawns. Sport pawns. I dare say we're getting quite unlucky with that chests. Ah, it's a lovely cloak, but not something we're in the market for at the moment, fortunately. Live stone. Okay, let's go ahead and level the buggers. Okay, this is spec. Okay. So range source. Now, if you notice the stats here, defense is a horrid 107. So that's 157 with Bastion. Bastion's the only thing that keeps her from not folding like a stack of paper with a gust of wind on her. Her health's still laughably low. Magic's getting a bit better. So honestly, you'd probably be better off just leveling Ranger. In fact, let's actually test that. Let's go 20 levels Ranger. Look at that. Her HP and stamina are a lot better. The magic's not much lower. She's got quite a bit stouter defense. Still got a nice magic defense. A little bit of strength, because again, some of her spells, about half of them, scale off strength as well as magic. In fact, I'm just going to keep it like that, I guess, for now. Pawn 2, this one. We just go fighter, over here to warrior. No, 20 levels. 20 levels, there we go. Yeah, this one lacks stamina, but it's not needed as much yet. Okay, let's see if it actually took. And it did. So let's stay next to the stone. heal them up. Always remember you can take a dip in the spring to get some debilitation immunity for a few seconds. Do we have any junk to get rid of? Oh, there's lift stones. Moonbeam gem. Now, we could run back and we could grab a piece. Well, if this was a regular playthrough, we were just coming in here in rags. Well, we wouldn't be fighting for one, because everything would destroy us with a look. Even worse than we're already getting. But we could go back to the Moonbeam, to Dusk Moon Tower, and we could grab the trophy jacket for some defense for yellow class, or Dragon's Eye for short bow. It really is heck for being fire enchanted. That being said, of course, if you have a sorcerer mage that can enchant other elements, it's not nearly as bad. It's just being stuck with fire that's a bit of an issue, or can be, if you're unlucky. Or with the ranger, with a long bow, you can get Dragon's Glaze, which is perma ice enchanted, which is quite a bit more useful. Okay, regular lizard. More of you. That sure was some damage. He got stuck. What did he get stuck on? Guess this little pillar there. Stone pillar. Watch it sort of. It falls slower. Figure that out. This chest often contained the money, so it's not conclusive, of course, but I'll see if the chest here. I dare say we're getting rather unlucky when it comes to what we're getting out of these chests. I wonder which ice spell that is. Oh, I wonder. I'm a bit worried about a weapon situation here going into this boss fight. Alright, let's see how it goes. Now these two are going to be quite useless against Gator to start with because they're not going to know the first thing about what do we do against this thing. Okay, that's one. That's two. Probably use a bit of healing. Just a bit. Okay. After you destroy enough of those, generally trips the this attack. Now hopefully we've gotten here in time to do this. There we go. It's not the most impressive damage in the world, unfortunately, but what do you want to do? Actually, do we have tones? Probably. No. Action. Here we go. Not quite on the eye. Damn it out. It's damaging a bit. I was hoping not to do that. Where is... Where's the other one that's damaged? I need to go pick her up before she disappears. Oh, we need to rush because he's doing his ultimate attack now, and if that goes off, it's an instant kill. I thought he was. Oh, he's doing this, which is, yeah, just as bad. He's gassed in the room. That's trouble's what that is. And of course she stays down there. Why wouldn't she? Okay, what are you? Okay, I think this gal's to go away so I can go pick up our mage. Yeah, I'll see you. Okay, it's fading away now. Over here. That's a good lad. Come on, start charging your beamer. Be a good lad. Kind of stuck until he starts doing that again. Because luggage just doesn't really do enough, fortunately. Okay, at least they dodged that. The one that says beware the gaze, and she still looks at it. It's odd that he's not charged up yet. Perhaps there's a certain level of health he has to get to. Oh bugger. Hopefully they've learned to come up here when this happens. Oh. There we go. Have we done it enough? I think so. Yeah, here he goes. Can't believe even that wasn't enough. Turn away. Oh, that's interesting. I need to be careful. We've done too much work here to be a dummy and suddenly just get got. And, have to do it all over. I'll upgrade our weapons if it came to that though. Okay. Wish Katarina would come up here. She would melt it a lot quicker than I can. Don't suppose any of you lasses have any stamina, Curtis. Never in doubt. Never in doubt. Wait, what? Okay, okay. I feel like you're all dying a bit too easily considering the equipment you have on. I suppose at least defensively a lot of it is levels, whereas most of your offensive stats come from weapons. What level did we get to? 87. That. Don't even remember when I picked that up. We're actually not high enough level for Katarina, well, or any of us to use the Dragon's Eye short bow. Let's go ahead and... What am I doing? I'm not picking up harpy opinions. Come on. Actually, it'd probably be better just to... Yeah, it'd probably be better just to upgrade to a particular, specific, more level appropriate weapon. And then upgrade that one. Possibly. There's something going in the water. was or who was it? We'll go ahead and trigger death here in a moment. In the next room. I think we're going to wrap up here. We'll just take it by thirds. Okay. The usual. I don't think there's a chest up there, so there's no sense in switching to daggers. I completely forgot I had a quest for rats. Funny how that works. Yeah, there's no way we'd be able to damage the gum, and maybe the gum, but Elder Ogre, that'd be a bit sketchy. That would be a bit sketchy. Let's see. Gum sculptures. Let's go ahead and just grab all of those for a moment. Interesting that it didn't rock up a new quest, even though they're completed. So anything we even want to do with the Moonbeam Gem, you think? No, there's no weapon we could grab that would really help us at the moment. I know. We'll actually let me look up weapon charts for a moment and pick out what weapons we'll upgrade to. Swap to rather. So for swords, like I'm definitely keeping the rusted short bow for at least a little while longer. Okay. Okay. Basically figured, decided which mid-tier weapons to switch to. Suppose I could go ahead and do that. I'm just going to use the mod to switch the ones we have equipped, because I'm too lazy to go through the weapon box. I have them all, but, well, that and the ones I have are all upgraded. So I'll just do this. So I'm going to do the blasted sword. Same thing with this one. And as for shield, we'll give her the, well, said we would give her the Aurelic shield. Okay, for her arch staff, we want the, what's it called, the plucked heart. And Katarina, we want the signs of valor. You can actually get these. I suppose I could show you sometime. And this one's the pleach lens. Now we could have actually found pleach lens, but we got quite unlucky, fortunately. Now I need to get this to actually work. We need to reload into the game, so I'll do that. And it should switch them for us. Should. But it's not an overwhelming difference in weapons. These are still weapons you can find about mid-game or so in the main story. So we're not going bananas here just yet. See if this actually works. No, it wait, it worked for her. Yeah, it worked for them. Did I just not do it for me? Whatever this is. No, I guess I'll dig through the box. Okay, let's see. Where's the bastard sword? I think we have a bastard sword in here. We should. As I sold it. There it is. See, it's gold forged though. Let's get rid of the trusty sword. Let's double check everything's alright. I'm not actually using the daggers for combat, so there's no real rush to upgrade those. Yeah. Both of them are about an even level of strength, so I think I did a decent job of figuring out which category these were on. That being said, we still need to upgrade them. Or we can upgrade them. We'll see how they do in action, then decide. Definitely don't want a dragon forge anything until we actually fight a dragon. Figure that'd be a good mark to shoot for. Are they back? Actually, let's see how the pawns do. Yes. She used Leap and Stone, but she didn't combo. Guess I had to go over that for her. Supposed to brain split after that, love. Oh, we never went this way. That's funny. Cyclops should not be anymore. Let's watch the pawns go to work. Of course, it's difficult to judge whether we're at a respectable level of equipment, considering it doesn't take much to damage old goblins. Oh. Admittedly, it does take me a bit to get used to not having movement abilities. Always just defaulted, oh, first strike, lol. For some reason. I'm gonna use the sword. And then fire. Yeah, that's pretty good damage. Why are you casting Maelstrom? They're just little garbers. Oh no. There we go. That's almost cruel. You think this is bad? Well, I'll be. Of course, it's worse than a gold forged rusted bow, but it's quite a bit stronger than. Actually, no, Sylvan bow. It's the direwolf bow or Hunter's bow. It's actually quite a substantial step up. Yeah, it's one of those. Pretty sure that's the one you can get. I know you can get Sylvan bow in the box as well, but I think you get a direwolf bow. Hey, Norgam. What are you doing otherwise? Okay. Yeah, we'll go in here and we'll try an arena fight, see how it goes. Then I think we'll wrap up. There you go with your all flasks again. I can't believe I was one harpy opinion short. I just never picked those up for some reason. Could have had a couple hundred of them, at least. Probably a lot more than that, to be honest. There's no sense in doing this. We wasting time. Okay, what room does we get? Oh, I don't know about this one. This is a worm. Right. Oh no, it's a tray. Okay, I can't damage it. That's good to know. Oh, you're joking, man. Come on. Wait, you're actually weak to being possessed? You're joking. That's interesting. Because normally... Of course you grab her again. Okay. Yeah, watch out. Oh, wait a minute. Yes I am. If I can get it. There we go. You're not so scary now, are you, lad? Oh, you better be. Oops. My mistake. Wait a bloody minute. What are you doing? Well, there's a dragon. Kill. Seriously though. I know you're immune to position. Because this is one of my favourite little get ups. You have all the resistances. But sure enough, she doesn't have any position resist whatsoever. But yeah, do that for this one. I know this one has perfectly fine resists all the bad stuff. Yeah, both of them immune to sleep, possession, petrification, all the important stuff. Tisk, tisk. I'll have to, I'll have to rectify that. This is because I gave her, I tried a different outfit on it, sort of, than what I prefer when it comes to sorcerers. My favourite one, at least, which is the one I had Katarina in earlier when she was a sorcerer on our last playthrough. Oh, hello. Getting rather close to money. Should be some more here. Yeah. Couple level. Novelty. Well, yeah, hell, there are an alright in that room, I suppose. We could actually damage the tray. Well, it's a bit cheesy though with me because I have. Well, it is hard mode and I inherently do less damage and take more, of course. Whereas pawns, the mode easy, normal, hard, it doesn't affect them at all. Let's level these two buggers. And then we'll stats. Respec. Okay, this is a mage, so we were going this. Well, let's actually split the difference a bit. There we go. And maybe a bit better for her damage wise. Okay, fighter. We'll actually do similarly here. Bump that stamina up a bit. Get a little bit of magic defense. And as usual, make sure to... Yeah, there we go. Once we reach this level though, they're starting to stick a bit better. At least against more common enemies here. Wait, I don't suppose anyone has a lift stone, Andy. Well, I can't think of it. We didn't get all the chests, so you will typically find a lift stone in it. They're pretty common in these chests. Demons are conquerors is what we'd be after. Well, really conquerors, because neither of us, I am a main pawn, are magic dealers. Yeah, there's a lift stone, so we can quickly get out if we wanted. If we wanted to be lazy. However, we still have slight bit more exploration to do. I feel like we overlooked... Oh, there's this one. I feel like we overlooked a chest over here. Maybe not. No, there it is. That one. That's bizarre. Not sure what's up with that. All that's really useful for is gifting to increase people's affections. Is it Mercedes that likes that one? I think she's one of them that does. Do you believe so? There's an area I don't think I've showed. Let's go this first. That's along here. You can find your way back into another building. Where there'll be more treasure. Want a chest for Livestone. Talk about a letdown. Well, to be fair, there really isn't anything too spectacular you can get in this particular room or area. It's not really a room. Quite pretty sky there. That being said, there is you can get the Recluse's robe somewhere in here. I'll say it's over there somewhere. That's a way to another Moonbeam gem door. You just hop up over. Showed that before though, so that's why I'm not seem to be running lower on fuel. And fixed. always remember to be a bit careful because sometimes the Garm like to spawn, or have already spawned in here. I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened on stream yet, because I swear it used to happen quite often to me. But it'll be here and you won't have any warning, and then suddenly you cross the corner and then it tackles you and sends you flying. Essentially one-shotting you. Oh, now you gave us this quest. I wonder why that wasn't popping up before. Don't think we've... Ah! We have completed a quest, it just wasn't one of these notice board quests. Wait, it doesn't, actually, never mind, that doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. But alright, I think that'll do it for this. How are you so hurt? How does this happen? Let's go in here. I think that'll do that for this particular stream. Next time we'll go through the middle section. I think that's what we'll attempt to do to keep it relatively, well, yeah, next time we'll go through the middle section. And depending on how quickly that goes, maybe the third as well. So yeah, we'll just play it by ear. That'll be all for this one after all, so hope you enjoyed. See you next time.